Greetings to all our learners. Welcome to CEC lecture. Dear learners, the topic of lecture is India and World Trade Organization. Dear learners, in this lecture, we shall analyze the historical evolution of World Trade Organization and look at this evolution with respect to the important role played by India. We shall understand contemporary challenges, recent development with respect to issues of India with respect to World Trade Organization. In this lecture, we shall analyze at how from GATT, the parlays at GATT were transformed in the form of supranational governance mechanism of World Trade Organization. We shall analyze that within free trade that World Trade Organization attempts to promote, how India has played an important role as well as the same time raised important issues with respect to ensuring a more just, equitable, inclusive world order for trade and governance mechanisms. The World Trade Organization was established in 1995. The World Trade Organization replaced the General Agreement on Trade and Tariffs. When we look at the World Trade Organization, the historical aspect of Bretton Woods Conference. The Bretton Woods Conference has to be studied. That is, it was officially known as the United Nations Monetary and Financial Conference. Dear learners, it was a gathering of delegates from 44 nations that met from 1st July to 22, 1944 in Bretton Woods, New Hampshire, and the deliberations were there focused on working out an agreement upon the rules needed for post-Second World War international monetary system. Along with the true Bretton Woods institutions, that is the International Monetary Fund and the World Bank. The International Trade Organization was an intellectual precursor to the World Trade Organization. But we have to see that how ITO failed in terms of its working because United States along with many other major countries failed to get this treaty ratified in their respective legislature. Therefore, what find here is that the GATT becomes the facto platform for issues related to international trade. GATT's purpose was to make international trade easier. GATT had 8 rounds in total when we look at the time period from April 1947 to December 1993. India has been a member of GATT since 1948. Further, when we look at the role of India and WTO, India was also a party to the Uruguay round. India was a founding member of the World Trade Organization. Some important contemporary facts that China joined WTO only in 2001. Russia had to wait till 2012, but India was a founding member of WTO. Then it's very important to understand that what were the shortcomings in GATT. Dear learners, with the absence of an institutional structure, further being just a forum for working out set of rules and multilateral agreements, then today looking at that how in the post-Cold War era and after other time that how the aspect of trade really magnified. GATT did not cover trade in services, intellectual property rights, patents amongst others. And then when we look at that how when we look at it, how GATT had dispute resolution mechanism which was somewhere absent. WTO, on the other hand, operates as a global system of trade rules. It works as a forum for negotiating trade agreements. It settles trade disputes between the members. It supports the need of developing countries. And above all, the primary purpose of WTO is to open trade for the benefit of all. Do visit the website of WTO.org for more information on the aspects of WTO. Dear learners, what we find here is that today there are so many countries that are part of WTO. Today WTO represents majority of world areas and population. Many countries are still in the fray to get the membership of WTO. Its ministerial conferences takes place every 2 years. Its dispute resolution mechanism is also much more strong and robust as compared to that of GATT. However, there are question marks on the working on the aspect of transparency, democracy, accountability, agenda of North versus South that the WTO caters to. And here in which we find that India has played a very important role. When we are looking at WTO, which is not a UN specialized agency, but yet WTO has still maintained good relations with the United Nations and its agencies since its establishment. An important agreement here is the arrangements for effective cooperation with other intergovernmental organizations. The relations between WTO and UN, this was signed in 1995, and using it, WTO has maintained cordial, strong relations with the UN. Further, what we see here is that when we look at various other agreements of WTO like reduction of tariff and non-tariff barriers, the agreement proposes an overall reduction of tariffs on manufactured products and phasing out of the quantitative restrictions over a period of time. Trade-related intellectual property rights, patents, copyrights, geographical indications, trademarks, industrial circuits, designs, trade secrets, all of it are included under TRIPS. Agreements on agriculture. This agreement of WTO deals with giving market access, reducing export subsidies, government subsidies on agriculture products. Trade-related investment measures, TRIMS. This agreement forbids the host country to discriminate against investments from abroad with respect to domestic investment. Agreements on sanitary and phytosanitary measures. This deals with restricting exports of any country that do not comply with international standards of germs, bacteria, amongst others. India was at the forefront when the Doha Work Program was finalized at the last WTO. The Doha round, which began with a ministerial level meeting in Doha, Qatar in 2001. The aim was to put less developed countries' priorities on the trade agenda. When we look at the working of India, the statements and remarks made by India's delegates and representatives, India opposed attempts of rich nations to stall WTO's Doha round. Further, when we go by the reports, dear learners, we take this very valuable archival news resource to back up our research. That is, India opposes attempts of rich nations to stall WTO's Doha round talks. This is from the Hindu and December 2015, and wherein which we draw that how India voiced concerns on other occasions also, as our research tells us that there is a need for an effective implementation of a package for least developed countries, including duty-free, quota-free, market access for them, as well as decisions on preferential rules of origin on the operationalization of the LDC services waiver and in the area of cotton. When we look at India and WTO, let's now take into account some of the recent developments with respect to India and World Trade Organization. An important one here is issues related to the peace clause. Dear learners, the peace clause protects a developing country's food procurement programs against action from WTO members in case subsidy ceilings are breached. Subsidies over and above the prescribed ceiling are seen as trade distorting. So, we take reference to the aspect of the WTO's peace clause by our research, and for that we draw on to this report by Kritika Soneja, that is India uses WTO's peace clause to hire rice shops. Dear learners, this is from April 2nd, 2020 ET Bureau. So, what we find here is that with respect to the recent developments, India has invoked the peace clause of the WTO for exceeding the ceiling on support it can offer farmers for rice for the marketing for the year 2018 to 19, marking the first time any country has taken recourse to this safeguard. India informed WTO that the value of its rice production was $43.67 billion in 2018-19 and that it gave subsidies worth $5 billion. Further, India is confident that it has met the conditions to be able to use the peace clause, and further there are no trade distortion or adversely affecting the food security of any other member. Another recent development with respect to India and WTO is with respect to fisheries subsidies. Further, for that we take reference to our research from the report by Kritika Soneja. India seeks mechanisms for dispute resolution to end harmful fisheries subsidies. This is from July 24, 2020, economictimes.com. So, dear learners, what we find that India sought a clear dispute settlement mechanism in the global arrangements to end harmful fisheries subsidies for which talks are going on. To read and quote from the remarks from the Indian side from this report, we quote, several important issues have not entered a serious text-based negotiation, particularly for a new agreement rooted on the plank of sustainability. One such crucial element is dispute settlement mechanism for this agreement. WTO members are negotiating to finalize the disciplines to eliminate subsidies for illegal, unreported, unregulated fishing and to prohibit certain forms of fisheries subsidies that contribute to overcapacity and overfishing. So, dear learners, we take reference to these reports from the Economic Times to build up our argument that how there have been issues with respect to fisheries subsidies, with respect to the peace clause that is there with respect to the India and WTO work. So, right from WTO's peace clause to fisheries subsidies, what finds here is that no doubt India has always supported WTO, but at the same time pledged its voice also for a reformed WTO to be a much more authentic forum, a voice, a platform for global trade negotiation. Further, India has time and again showed that it is against changing the consensual driven character of this multilateral trade body. Further, we also have to take into account that why today many nations are questioning free trade, and this also brings into the aspect that then why India should also look into protecting its trade and with respect to at the same time work to ensure parity at the global level. Today, many nations are questioning WTO when we look at increase in protectionism, when we look at complaints and remarks of inadequate judges in the Appellate Tribunal for Dispute Resolution, further looking at proliferation and the increasing number of regional trade agreements. Further, India has time and again raised concerns and issues with respect to agriculture, especially the subsidies with respect to the bigger context of food security, looking at the trade felicitation and all of it from subsidies or trade felicitation. At the 11th Ministerial Conference of WTO held in Buenos Aires, one definitely finds these remarks, and that India has also objected to freeing of e-commerce, because further taking in the same tone, India doesn't also support the plurilateral instead of multilateral trade talks. Dear learners, for more insights into the aspect of agricultural subsidies, trade facilitation, the reports of the Buenos Aires Ministerial Conference of WTO, the e-commerce aspect and the plurilateral trade talks, one must take further reading for this resource, that is by Ambassador S.K. Ashok Warrior, India's Stance on WTO Reform. This is from 18th April 2019, a very good insight, a detailed insight into with respect to the contemporary aspect of India and WTO. Further, an important report that we take into account for backing our argument more on WTO and with respect to Indian perspective, this report is reinvigorating trade and inclusive growth. Dear learners, this is there with WTO.org, worldbank.org and all other online forums. This is a joint publication released in September 2018. This is by the World Bank Group, International Monetary Fund and the World Trade Organization. Looking at the time when many nations are questioning free trade, when there is rise of protectionism, this report reinforces the idea that free trade is very important. Trade is important with respect to global economies. Further, with respect to management of trade, the report points out that how trade policies should aim to build greater, more durable openness, reinvent an open, rule-based global trade. Further, when we go by the remarks in the executive summary of this report, we find that it recognizes that today's global trade system has fostered unprecedented economic growth, but at the same time, one cannot ignore the challenges, and challenges require rules, norms, a set of criteria to address the aspects. Thereby, there is a need of reinvigorating trade integration, and this should be a key component of the global policy agenda to boost economic growth. So, dear learners, when we look into this report of reinvigorating trade and inclusive growth published by the World Bank Group, the IMF, the WTO in 2018. With respect to these contemporary highlights, we now take into account a very important research material and guidance to substantiate and conclude the idea that how important and how there has been a variation with respect to India's role in WTO. Dear learners, we take reference to this report by Mihir Swarup Sharma and Preeti Bhogal, India and Global Trade Governance, Redefining its National Interest. This is from 19 December 2017, orfonline.org. The report makes very important observations, that is, India has participated actively in global trade negotiations since the establishment of General Agreement on Trade and Tariffs, and with World Trade Organization, one finds that there has been a leap in change with respect to a serious engagement with global trade governance by India with respect to its engagement with WTO. Further, India's position on global trade negotiation, the research points out that there has been a change, a transition, and in the last 2 decades from being an obstructionist in the Uruguay round to a constructive participant in the recent trade negotiations under the Doha rounds. But one important aspect that the report point tells us that the core concerns of India, that is protection of its farm sector, food security, trade and services, somewhere they are at loggerheads. They place India at odds with other countries, other developed nations. Further, at the same time, when there is rise of protectionism in the West, India has assumed a leadership position in global trade governance. This change in context requires a change in the policy stand also. India needs to broaden, to increase, as once again a recommendation of this report, that is, it needs to broaden its national interests. It has to undertake a coalition building role in matters of trade governance. A very important research piece that we took reference to in order to understand that how today global trade governance and India's role with respect to WTO are at a position of transition. Once again, the report by Mihir Swaroop Sharma and Preeti Bhogal, available at orfonline.org. Do read more into it at how today, when we look at just the role with respect to GATT, India seriously engaged with WTO and trade governance with the rise of WTO. And then how there is a transition, but amidst the transition, the core concerns, the farm sector, the food security, trade and services, they remain important. And looking at the changes in context, when today in world over there is questioning of globalization, when we are finding ourselves in a paradigm of deglobalization, when nations are looking inwards with respect to their trade and foreign affairs paradigm, India has assumed a leadership position, and thereby India must broaden its national interest. So, therefore, looking at the growing role of India, India should work on mechanisms, coalitions, thought processes, right alignment to ensure that the world has a WTO which is much more equitable, inclusive organization. When we look at the broad agenda of trade, from agriculture, industrial tariffs, services, patents, all these issues are contested, and they require a great effort, requiring all nations, all stakeholders to come together to deliberate on the contours of trade for time. So therefore, India's journey towards achieving a $5 trillion economy also requires this. So therefore, with right engagement with respect to the World Trade Organization, with respect to factoring in right coalition and right alignment with the various stakeholders, India can not only show a way for reforming the global trade governance mechanism, for making WTO more equitable, but at the same time ensure that its domestic interests, its national interests, economic activities are in alignment with its foreign affairs forays also. So therefore, dear learners, when we look at role of India in WTO, one has to see that how India has come a long way with GATT trade talks round to being a founder member of WTO, and how time and again India has consistently put forward the need for a more reformed trade governance. There have been issues when we look at WTO's peace clause, fisheries subsidies, issues time and again they do arise. But India has shown remarkable resilience, remarkable degree of integrity to ensure that its policy stand on trade governance does not harm any nation. Further, when there is a need for reforming processes of integration, trade, globalization, the reform of WTO as well is an important one. India, having an important stature at this hour, being at a leadership position in global governance, must take the lead in ensuring trade governance via various institutional mechanisms, forums of negotiation like WTO to be more fair, inclusive and based on equity. Dear learners, we hope you all gained significant insights on the role of WTO and India together. We hope you all learned important aspects with respect to India's position, arguments and WTO. Thank you very much for being with us for this lecture. Thank you.